So today I'll be talking about energy. So the first thing I want to talk about is we have first things first to go into it. We have our 3D universe. Now I believe we have another 4D universe that's in front of our that surrounds us in a way that has a 3D universe in there, according to bubble theory. So there's a bunch of different universes in one like big outerverse, and the outerverse is what I believe is going to be the fourth dimension. Now, in this fourth dimension, time can move forward or backwards. So time is irrelevant, right? So it can move forward back in time, can move backwards in time, and all matters on that. If you look right down here, so then how does this encompass and create the cause the Big Bang? Well, I believe there's external forces within the fourth dimension that causes time energy, which I call it's a force that fundamentally causes time to transform in a specific type of direction. All right, and in it we have so what happens is we have like forces coming up and the friction between the forces that are stored into a type of point that pins the points into place and eventually go into they store energy through to potential energy and kinetic energy. Potential energy eventually transforming into kinetic energy, right? So for those who don't know, I'll just go a little bit brief overview on it. Potential energy is when you have a ball and you're on a bit of a ledge, I would say. You decide you want to drop the ball. Potential energy is when the ball is still in your hand. That's as most it technically has a lot of different energy on there, ready to go. But in this case, I think a better analogy for what's happening here is when you compress a spring. So if you ever compress a spring, you know there's a little bit force exerted, right? And then the potential energy is when you push it all the way back to as much as far you can get. That would be potential energy. Kinetic energy is when you just let it go. The spring will, shoot out. That's kinetic energy. That's all the energy that's being transferred from potential energy to kinetic energy that's being stored out. Now, if you think the same as applying to like I was describing in the spring, all that force energy being forward, you see this will be happening. Different type of friction of the time energy arrows. When they collide, or vectors in the scientific community is called, colliding. So this potential energy is storing up to the point where it overcomes the time energy, and once it expands further, it will actually cause the Big Bang. Now, the amount of energy needed to do this, I believe, would be the Planck temperature in our current circumstance, because there could be different type of time energy errors. It could be stronger, it could be weaker, so a lot of it would be dependent on it. But it'll be called the Planck temperature, right? So the Planck temperature is pretty much, for those who don't know, I'll just go a little bit more, is the hottest anything can be in the universe, because consequently it's all the energy can pack into a singular point in the universe that's just jam packed in one singularity. This is the singularity during the Big Bang, and this is what I believe is caused the singularity. Is all that potential energy from the tan energy that's just keep compressing down in a singular point in the fourth dimension that's going to span forward and outwards, creating our universe. Now, once we know one thing we know about our universe is that it's constantly expanding. Even if you go past the speed of light, you never reach the end, right? So, and that's the reason, is because the time energy, I think, is feeding our universe in here and is causing us to expand. So it keeps expanding in regards to it. And a lot of times when you see time, if you look at time dilation, time dilation is pretty much when you're moving faster and you see another person coming. So if you're going on a spaceship and the speed of light and a person from another spaceship going down the speed of light, it's that frame of reference where things seem faster or slower than they actually appear. Now, time is distorted this way. And I believe that is the fundamental reason for it, is because it takes more energy to give bigger, larger objects on the frame of reference into there. So when you have a computer and you have to pull a lot of different type of like processes, you do a lot, you're on there a lot, you have playing this huge game, you're playing like 3 different games, that runs a little bit slowly. So it's dedicating its power to these resources to doing, but just can't keep up. The same thing can be said with time energy in regards to our universe. So that's why things will always appear slower, because it needs to compensate for the amount of time energy gets coming in, because it's probably a fixed quantity. Because our universe, if we have 2 separate points right here, our universe is going to be going into the direction of the more powerful arrow, or the one that randomly goes through, right? So it's going to be going into one direction or the other. And it's going to keep expanding that way. And it could be like going through friction and things like that. So it could be going forward on it. And then if it goes forward enough in one direction, or it could be going like here, might be a better analogy where it's constantly feeding the energy and it's getting bigger and bigger on there. I know it's probably not the best drawing, but the point is this. I apologize if that confused some of you, but is that all that time energy that's coming in and condensing and creating that space and creating potential energy is now currently feeding the kinetic energy that's causing our universe to expand, and it's going to do so infinitely more. Now, so that's currently my, like dices and stuff. That's currently like my that's currently what I'm thinking about writing it down in research paper. I thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me. Have a good day.